Hey, hello and welcome. Hello, everyone. Dawn, I'm back.
Hello, welcome home.
It's good to be home. It is good to be home. How have you been?
I have been very well. I've been very well. I've been missing you, and obviously we had the week off for the Queen.
Yes, yes.
And that was a very somber, yet mentally cleansing, I think, as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. Absolutely. And you know, reflection is kind of like the theme of the day. The odd thing was when the funeral started, when there was those 2-minute silence during the funeral.
Yes.
We were actually stood on the black sand beach in Iceland with the water flowing at us and the wind and the sand as well. A little bit painful at some points, but it was actually quite a nice place to just stand for a couple of minutes and be reflective and think about the situation. And obviously we caught up when we got back with the funeral, but we were on a coach most of that morning, so we were watching it as we were going along because they had free Wi-Fi. You know, but it was a very reflective day, and for me a very reflective week. But I did miss my SPtv family.
I know.
And
we were here in spirit, here in
soul. Exactly. And the interesting thing is, next week I will have a gift for everyone. It took a little bit longer to put together. I know that we were hoping that Nick would bring back footage of the Northern Lights and link in underneath the Northern Lights, and we can talk about that with our theme today. But we never got to see the Northern Lights.
Oh, what a shame!
Which was terrible, but we are going to try and go to Norway next year and see them there because it's a little bit higher.
Yes.
But there we go. So it was interesting, very reflective, and I have had a revelation.
Oh my gosh.
So it was very, very strange, but of course there we are. That was the week that was. But I think
much
boss,
to talk about, but yes,
plenty of hellos to say to this morning.
Definitely. We have to begin with. Let's say hello to the lovely Stacey Shaw. She says, "Good morning, Richard, Dawn, Nick. Good morning, all in the chat as well."
Hello to you. And Cheryl Johns, good morning to you. And I love the emoji. I love it. Bitmoji in there.
Yeah.
And good morning,
Mum.
Hey.
Well, your mum, not mine.
She's just there.
Be on your best behaviour.
Fiona Rowson, joining you both from Exeter in Devon. Hope you are back. Well, I'm very well, and she's smiling, so I think we're good.
Good morning. Kelly, the fabulous name. Kelly Rocket, greetings, beautiful people. Greetings to you too, Sunflower.
I think there was a pop group in the 60s called the Rockettes, you know. that great spiritual voice in the sky has come back to me. I've missed it. So good morning, Jay Billimore. Good morning to you, mate. How you doing?
Joy Howell, love a reading, please. If we are drawn to you, my darling, you will be there.
We will do what we can.
Good morning,
Julie Hawkney. Good morning. How are you?
Gina Harris. Good morning.
Rebecca Whelan, she liked and shared it before
Rebecca.
Did. So good morning, Rebecca.
Terry Mafia, I think. Hello to you.
Jean Nevels, was that correct? Yeah, Jean Nevels, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Very smart name, Nevels. Wendy Lindsay, hello, Wendy. Hello there, my lovely.
And Trish, all the way from Australia. Wonderful. Good morning to you.
G'day, Trish.
G'day.
Who else do we have? Gina Harris. Hello, Gina. Lovely hearts there. Thank you, my darling. And that's everybody.
We can't start without the heart, can we?
No,
it is the absolute.
It's part of our little thing, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Sorry, I missed that, Richard.
And Hazel
Mum!
Barrett, good morning.
Mum, hello.
Hello, Mum.
Mum, you were absolutely right. Mum said to me before we went on live, she said that Nick would not be wearing his dog collar, and you are right. His mum is currently ironing it. Isn't that right?
I'm lazy. I've got one of those steam irons.
Oh, you Mel B, goodness me.
Well,
bring a bit of spice to the show. Love it.
Spice up your life. Joy Howell, moving swiftly on from my attempt to sing.
Moving swiftly on. Fabulous.
Good morning to you, and hi to London as well.
So we've had London and Australia. Joanne Lewis, she's put hi, Dawn, Nick, and Rachel. We've got some hearts. I love when we have our hearts. Oh, what's that? Thank you so much, Kelly.
Dawn pronounced your day so well, like a true Aussie. Well, you know, she's. Do you speak many languages at all?
Myself, I speak English a bit.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Cockney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and apparently the voices at B. Richard says he speaks 7 languages.
Wow.
Goodness me. Can we hear a bit of that, Richard?
Yes.
Okay,
English.
he speaks English. Irish. Oh my God.
Australian.
Oh no, I can't do this.
American.
I can't do this.
To be fair, there are different spellings and pronunciations.
Yes, patois. I'd like to say I speak a little patois. Thank you.
Most people would say that I speak gibberish, which is my second language. I'm not allowed to say
what good this morning.
I'm not allowed to say what else I speak because it's quite rude that most people say that I talk. But yeah, there we go. Chrissy Wheatley, hello.
Hello, sir. Oh, so many hearts.
I'm gonna say that is full on heart power.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Wendy Watson.
Laughing her head off, quite rightly so. In actual fact, you're missing one laugh for the languages. So.
Oh gosh, yes.
Poor Kelly thinks that is
one of those is begins with a B and the other one begins with an S as well.
Yes, and Mother has just said Nick talks forever. Thanks, Mum.
Nice one, Mum. Oh,
yeah,
we should. Oh my gosh, we should have our mums in the room one day.
Why don't we do it for the Mother's Day show? That would be awesome. We've only got like 6 months to wait, or something like that. 5 or 6 months.
That's okay.
Yeah. That'll give her time to do her hair. Oh, the Christmas special.
Christmas special.
It's all about family after all, you know. So absolutely brilliant. Hannah Joyce, good morning.
Hey, hello, Joyce. So, Zendel Bishop, from Australia.
Hey,
fantastic.
It's that perfect Australian accent that you've got that is bringing them all in.
Hey.
Good morning to Richard Taylor.
So, before we have time to put another shrimp on the barbie and drink our Forex, let's get on with the show.
All right.
Bonza. I could easily keep that up all day. Brilliant. All day. I could do the Caribbean one the best though. If I did that all day. I could do a whole show like that. Perhaps we'll have a Caribbean day where I do a whole show.
Yes, you'll have to train me.
Welcome to SPtv. So
Chrissy, I've got to just reference Chrissy's
comment. Yeah. Absolutely.
My family call me the posh one of the family because we're all from the Fens, and it's a very deep dialect that we have here. It's kind of like a cross between London and Norfolk, really, because we're on the Norfolk border, and a lot of my family from North. So we talk a lot. There's a lot of that around family, and there's a bit of Suffolk in there and all. And I do, because I went to a school in Ely, which is kind of like a cathedral city, and I was mixing with lots of different languages and dialects. I pick up language and pronunciation a lot. My French teacher was impressed anyway. And because of that, my voice changed over time. Hey, Wendy. And because of that, everyone in my family thought I talked posh, but occasionally the bit of common does come out, and I drop the T's and the I's.
What?
A bit soft, mum. Because there was a famous actor. He played Dumbledore. No, not Dumbledore. He was the one who played Voldemort in Harry Potter.
Oh, Voldemort.
He also played a famous Suffolk man, who the Viking longboats in Sutton Hoo, and he was taught by a local to speak. We'll do one about that one day. He was taught to speak in the Suffolk accent, and he says, the one thing that you have to learn is not to move your bottom lip when you talk. And occasionally I do revert to not using my bottom lip, and that's where the old comment. You've got
to be careful you don't get lockjaw in that case, haven't you?
I know, and I did used to get it quite a lot, but there we go. Never mind. Everybody at home, remember to share, like, and subscribe.
Please, y'all got to share, like, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Right. So today, my lovelies, you will be getting readings throughout the show, just to let you know, as we do not have a guest as such, but we're here, and that's all that matters. And you're here, which is the most important thing.
Exactly.
And today's topic of conversation is the power, the great power and majesty of Mother Earth.
Absolutely, yes.
As Nick has been on his travels, haven't you, my love?
Yes, and although disappointingly we didn't get to see the Northern Lights, what we did get to see was really the tremendous power of nature, and the reason behind that is because one of the things that I did when we were talking about the Northern Lights. I did my research, because we spiritualists, we mediums, we always talk about we have to raise our vibrations, raise our frequency. Yes. And, I've always said that myself. And we was talking about linking in underneath the Northern Lights. And what I found out actually was that the Northern Lights, that frequency that it emits and that it is vibrating on is actually a lower frequency, not a higher one.
All right.
The solar wind hits the atmosphere and interacts with the magnetosphere, and there's other things, but I'm just making it basic for me because it's the bits that I can remember. But the light that is emitted on the Northern Lights, the light that is emitted is a lower vibrational frequency. I think it's something about 7 hertz, which interestingly enough, if you do your binaural beats and all that sort of thing, it is a very healing frequency. But it was quite surprising, because you'd expect it to be a higher vibration and all this sort of thing. And it got me thinking. And then we went went whale watching. We saw humpback whale. We saw minke whale.
In my head now.
I know, the minke whale, the white-beaked dolphins, and the porpoises in the bay around Iceland. As I said, we went to the black sand beach. We went to numerous waterfalls, the Golden Waterfall and also the biggest waterfall in Iceland. We went to an ice glacier.
Oh my gosh.
And all of these places had tremendous power, raw natural power. But they also had this feeling, and to say the word emotion would be wrong, but right.
However, there's also the reverence to it.
Yes, but it was all so very slow and paced. Great, tremendous power, but very, very paced, own rate, own pace. And I linked in when I was on the beach, I linked in around the waterfalls, I linked in around the geysers, I linked in around the glaciers, and it was always this tremendous strength. Now, if we look at the sciencey bit, Iceland is one of the most inhospitable islands that's lived in by people on the planet. If you think about it, there's 350,000 people live there. Only 350, and it's a huge island because most of the highlands are unlivable. You've got the ice, you've got the clouds, you've got the volcanic activity, you've got I mean, it's sitting on two fault lines. You've got the North American continental plate, and you've got the Eurasia plate, and most of where I was either on the edge or sitting between those two plates.
Right.
The national park there has got like this, it's got to be at least 1.5 miles to 2 miles gap between the plates, because they are moving outwards rather than moving inwards. But it was just this sense of raw power that got me. And in spite of it being inhospitable, here's the thing. Iceland are 99% green, renewable, self-sufficient energy.
Wow.
The only imports they have is oil. They take water from the hot springs and the geysers. They feed that into they use that to heat their water, because obviously that particular water is extremely sulphurous.
I was actually going to say that.
Very rotten, egg stinky. But they use that water to heat their own water. They do take some electricity from it, from the steam spinning a turbine generating. They also take a lot of energy from water and turbines under the water.
The power of the water movement.
The power of the water movement. And that is the mainstay of their energy generation, which makes them 99% green renewable. Now you'd think, oh my God, that surely means that they're destroying this wonderful natural environment. But that's not the case, because there are, I remember the guide saying there are at least 1,000 waterfalls.
Oh, wow.
And they use about 14. They use about 14 to generate energy, enough to keep the island going.
Gosh.
And one of the, I'm making you all a video of my exploits for next week.
Please do that.
And one of them is the biggest waterfall. It's something like 30 meters. It's a small one of about 10, and then another big one of about 20. There was a guy who tried to buy that to turn it into a hydropower plant.
How?
And
okay, sorry.
The island went nuts. They had a huge campaign. A well-known lawyer who later became the president of Iceland when they became independent. That he was a big driving force, if you pardon the pun, in protecting it, and they won, and it's kept as a national park.
Thank God.
It's amazing.
Let's just quickly read Stacey Shaw. Stacey Shaw, I'd love to live the old ways like natives. They took what they needed from the land with respect and love and appreciation, but never took advantage or took it for granted. That's the thing, isn't it? That's
Absolutely.
The thing. Mother Earth is constantly renewing, but it's only with us not taking more than we need.
Yes, and this is the
keep depleting constantly. She can't renew herself.
Yeah, exactly.
We're doing that to her.
And of course, Iceland is very heavily influenced by Norse tradition, the Vikings, and they are all about sustainability and renewal as part of their natural behaviours. We was watching one of the tours that we went on. They recommended, believe it or not, that we watched the first episode of Zac Efron's Down to Earth.
Oh gosh!
Because it was in Iceland, and there was a few places that I recognised. And one of the things that they did on there was interviewing people. They do hunt. They do hunt. However, if you want to go hunting, you have to fight for your place, because there's only 1,500 people allowed to hunt in a specific time each year, and they use everything.
Every part.
Deeply respectful. The animal, like the sheep and the cows and the horses, they are allowed to run wild for most of the time. They're up in the. We're walking down the black sand, and there's kind of like a mountainside this big, this slopey. And there are sheep sitting at the top there, not giving a what's
I've seen this. I've seen goats like up a tree in, I think it was in Greece I was, and they were up the tree, and you're thinking, how are you safe up there, and B, how did you get up there, and C, how on earth are you going to get down?
Yeah, this is it. And everything, and this is the thing about the energy. Everything is really paced and slow.
Balanced.
And it's really, really balanced because they're not ransacking and pillaging the environment.
Not out of that delicate balance.
They are so in balance there. It's unreal. And one of the things that I learned about the glaciers is compacted snow, but it's constantly slowly moving. And once again, you could feel that pace, be it the water, be it the earth, be it the geysers, be it the, I mean, as you walk into the place where geyser, which is where we get the word geyser from, where you walk into that, it looks just like Mordor. I mean, that whole place is Middle Earth, born and bred. It's amazing. But as I said, and I promised everyone it would be on a spiritual level, I linked in.
Yes.
And it's easy to describe what I saw, but it's really, really hard and will take forever for me to explain what I had seen and felt, because it was not human. In the sense that we feel emotions. We're very controlled by emotions, and although I felt emotions,
I felt a huge pull in my chest then. You were connecting not with your physical experiences, but you were connecting from a soul level, and spirit are giving you all that power and all that energy through Mother Earth, and you're feeling it in your soul, which is something that we don't have language to communicate.
Absolutely. And what I can explain, I know, what I can describe and explain is stubbornness, determination, resoluteness. There was some sadness, but mostly it was a sense of sustained and constant joy, just to be doing what it's doing.
Have you not, if you listen back to every word that you've just said, every emotion and thing you experienced, doesn't that describe the perfect mother?
It does. It really, really does. And because also, this is the weird bit.
You listen back to every word you just said.
Yeah. And the other weird bit and the final bit is it's almost like we were not even noticed, because we were getting on with our own thing and not interfering with her. And she was allowed to do what she needed to do, because she was supplying this island with everything it needed. And it was just amazing. Now, when I was on the boat, I had a conversation with as I do, because Mum said earlier, I just chat for England. I was having a chat with a marine biologist, Lucas, and we were talking about various different things and about the purpose and need of science and everything. And I said, well, of course, science is not about this is how it is and that's that. Science is a journey of discovery, and I take joy in not knowing everything.
Yes, absolutely. That's why we're here, to learn.
But it doesn't mean we shouldn't try and understand it. And then about 10 minutes later, he was doing his spiel and speech and everything, and he said virtually the same thing, and then made a very, very profound statement about, the minke whales. They do not know what the purpose of their song is.
Right.
To the extent that in the war, in the Cold War, there were submarines out there detecting this sound, and they thought that the Russian subs in the Antarctic and the Arctic had got this new signal, this new communication, this new technology. Wow. And when they tracked it down, it turned out to be the song of minke whales. And they still don't understand the reason for it because of the way it resonates. And
the way they communicate, we don't understand it.
And we don't understand. And he says we spend millions and billions on weapons, on destruction, on war, and absolutely nothing about the largest organism that we live on, the ocean.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And there's just so much in there.
We'd rather spend our money on tearing it down than spending our money on learning and embracing it.
And I promised him that I would quote it. So
thank you for that.
So Lucas Heinrich, I did.
Thank you, Lucas.
One of the things that I picked up from all of that, this power and this drive, and I started with it with the Northern Lights description.
Yes.
Everything was low. Low vibration, low frequency. So here's the thing. It got me thinking about the way we talk as mediums. We talk about raising our vibrations, and we also talk about the constant energetic power of the Great Spirit that is infinite, unchanging, unending, and that we have as our soul, and there we are, the soul, the core, is also unending, unchanging, and super energetic. So what if, even though we're doing what we should, we're describing it wrong? Because I'm a great believer, yes, it doesn't matter too much about description so long as you're doing it right. But if we understand what we're doing more, can't we learn more and improve it?
Yes, of course.
And so here's my question to you, and also to everyone at home. Your thoughts on what I'm about to say. All of these wondrous and majestic and powerful things are a low vibration. And we know that the earthly side of us is a low vibration.
Yes.
And we know that the soul and the spirit is a constant high vibration. So what if we're looking at it the wrong way, and that we're not actually supposed to be raising our vibrations, but lowering our physical vibration to allow the soul to come up to the surface, so to speak? If you look at it in a parable of density, we know that the light density, the things that are lighter have got a less dense than that which is very dense. Very dense sinks to the bottom.
Yes.
Less dense rises to the top. So rather than raising our vibrations, what if we were to lower our physical vibrations to allow the air hole of the whale of the soul to come up to the surface and take a breath?
Goodness me.
I told you I'd had a revelation.
You certainly have.
And I'm always one to, never sit on my laurels and say I know everything and change what I've learned.
Absolutely.
But certainly your thoughts, and everyone at home. What do you think?
Well, I know.
Does it really matter? But in a way, it does.
Okay, it does matter. It does matter. It matters in the fact that, like you say, the more we're able to, because sometimes it's just a matter of switching the vibe, switching and going, oh, now I can move into that understanding. Now I can attract more and do better because I understand. So I haven't got that mental block of trying to work out how I'm supposed to open up or raise my vibration, all that. But when I know for myself, when I'm sitting there going, right, come on, I've got to raise a vibration, I've got to do that, I end up blocking myself. But if I concentrate more on my physical body relaxing and disappearing and going away, so I'm releasing my need to concentrate on my physical body, then I am able to open up. So it's not so much a need to raise my vibration, it's a need to lower my need for my connection with my physical body. So in that respect, yes, I wholly agree with what you're saying, because all I'm doing by letting go of the physical need, I'm not mentally saying let's lift my vibration. I'm mentally saying let's open.
Yeah.
Let's open rather than raise. I'm opening, because spirit come down to our vibration. They don't just sit there waiting up for us to level up to them. They come down to us. So exactly. If you open the door, they can come down.
Yeah.
So yes, I totally agree with that.
Because I was obviously I asked my guides about this, and the way they described it is, you know how we have like signal masts?
Yes.
If you stick a signal mast in the middle of a valley, signal's not going to get out.
Okay.
So you've then got the option: do you build a higher mast, or do you lower the valley?
Yes.
And this was the kind of thing. And if you think about when certainly when I'm training and developing and helping to develop people who want to experience spirit, we sit and we meditate. And what are we doing? We're slowing down our breath. We're slowing down our heartbeat. We're forgetting about the physical.
Yeah.
So we need to lower our physical to allow the higher spirit,
the higher minds. Well, when we talk about, sorry, Nick, when we talk about sitting in the power, for those who know what that is, we're connecting with our own spirit, and our spirit is not higher. It's not up there. It's not somewhere else that's unattainable. It's right here within ourselves. All it's asking us to do is to let go of that need for our physical selves and to connect with our own spirit that's here right now.
Yeah.
And that's all sitting in the power is. So we're not trying to connect by raising anything. We're just sitting in the power, exactly as those words are.
Yeah. So, you know, it befuddled me, because I've always said about raising your vibrations and never considered
that's what you're taught.
We lower our physical when we're meditating.
Your physical vibration, absolutely.
So you're dropping, and if you think about it,
you're grounding.
You're getting rid of, and Rebecca is
Rebecca's saying it's very interesting. Yeah.
And I remember,
yes, Helen Mansell says, yes, now that makes sense, Dawn. Meditation, calmness, absolutely. And we put, but yes, Lizzie Busy Bright, gorgeous.
Lovely.
It may be less heavy to go towards low vibrations. Have I not understand that properly? Maybe. Did I not get that? I suppose I'm not sure. If you could elaborate on that a little bit, Lizzie,
please.
For us, please. I'm not sure I understand that. Sorry. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, right. Okay.
Great thought, Richard. Yes. His explanation is that if you get a really heavy vibration with spirit, if you lower your vibrations, it may be less of a struggle, basically.
Heavier,
and less of that heaviness.
I see that. I see that. Katie says, hello everyone, sorry I'm late. I hope you all had a lovely morning.
Okay.
You are where you're meant to be, my darling. You are where you're meant to be.
Sorry, Catty.
We also talk about Gaia, don't we? Mother Earth as being Gaia, the goddess of Greek mythology, the goddess Mother Earth, the goddess of Earth, before the Titans and all that. You know, that's why we don't hear about it very often. But we literally talk about Mother, the goddess. And have you heard of Prem Joshua?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah. Prem Joshua has whoever out there is listening, it probably has a CD. He has a beautiful piece called Sky Kisses Earth, and it's all obviously in not in a language we can understand, but you can feel the vibration of the words, and you see Father Sky kissing Mother Earth, and it is just perfection. It is just beautiful.
Fabulous. It's wonderful. Tina Place To go into trance, I have to completely relax my physical body, so that makes sense totally.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really quite in love.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really quite in love with my SPtv family, to be honest.
I know.
Because I sat here and I thought, I've got to talk about it, but are people going to think I'm absolutely loopy?
Lizzie's written, yes, this
Fabulous.
is what I was saying. Well done. Fabulous.
Well done. Well, he is the great spirit in our ear.
Yes, absolutely he is.
And Mama,
can I ask? Oh, bless her. She's written, ma'am. Can I ask a question? Of course you can, Richard. Please do. That's what we're here for. Keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. And we are going to start doing some readings, aren't we, my love?
Yes, we certainly are. Hello, expressions.
Hello.
Oh, Dawn has briefly frozen, which will speed up and catch up in a second.
Mother Earth prayer. Hello, I'm back.
You're back.
Hello. I was just saying, my lovelies, at the end, if there is time, I do have a prayer that I found about Earth, about Mother Earth.
Wonderful.
About our Gaia.
I think that ties in beautifully well and will be a wonderful way of, putting a bow on top of everything. And, and it never, Stace. I feel that's why you go.
No, please carry on, my darling. I feel your energy.
I feel that's why I struggled connecting sometimes, because we literally try and raise up when meditating. Makes it harder and more complicated than it is. Yes.
Exactly, because you are putting a block by saying, I must do this, I must do this. All you're doing is complete opposite. You are blocking. That's all you're doing. It's like when you sit there and go, please, spirit, please come and talk to me. Or even as we do when we're sat here and we want a message, please come. All you're doing is blocking.
Yeah.
Because you are connecting with the physical more.
I feel another chapter of my book coming on, I might have to start.
I've been told so many times over the years that I'm going to write a book one day. I still haven't got around to it.
Absolutely. But I'm overjoyed actually from the response, because when you challenge
you're sat in your own head thinking all these things, aren't you?
And when you challenge a known concept that's really quite intrinsic in our way of life, it's like people are going to think I'm either nuts or dealing with some kind of weirdness, or they're just going to completely ignore me. But everyone's been thinking it too, And when you think about it, we've been doing it like we've had from the comments. When you go into trance, you have to completely slow the body down. I think there's an advert like that. So it's really, really quite wonderful. And I have to admit, I put it into practice yesterday when I did a demonstration at Snettersham Church. And I had so much fun. And it was so much easier to work.
It will be.
Actually.
Totally understandable. Kerry Satchel's wrote, I did not realise that. I'm forever praying for spirit, because what you're doing in that moment is you are concentrating on your physical needs, your physical body, your physical mind, your physical brain is saying, please, please, please. I haven't got, please, please, please. And you're shutting the door, as opposed to releasing. And as we're talking about lowering the physical vibration and then allowing the door to open. And
the message to blossom through.
Exactly.
And there is also a very human, earthly, psychological concept to that as well, in the sense that if you're wishing for that one particular person, you'll focus your mind so much on that. When the information comes through and it's somebody else, you don't hear it. It's not that you don't want to hear it. It doesn't resonate with what you're wanting, and you could get a great message from someone completely random, different to what that person that you wanted is, and they might be the one bringing them through. So it's definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Helen Mansell, she's put, but if you're depressed. In depression, we're told to lift our vibrations, but if you're only lifting a little, is it enough to bring you out of it? And you'd be feeling low, still, middle. Right. Well, there are millions of, I think everybody in some way, some form or another, suffers with some form of depression. And when we're talking about lifting our vibration, raising our vibration, if we're lifting our own spirits, lifting our spirits is one thing, but to raise our vibration is another. Okay. And depression is something that is not in us spiritually. It's something of a physical energy. It's something of a physical energy, a physical level. So in that respect, we're lifting our minds, lifting the pressure off. And upliftment is the word I want to say. We are uplifting ourselves, not actually raising our vibrations. That won't help depression. It's upliftment that comes from the spiritual experiences we had, those beautiful spiritual experiences we have. And that raises our vibrations anyway. Okay, does that help? I don't that makes sense.
Yeah, and because it was a really good point, Helen. Really good point. And so I was having a word with Gordon, and it's like, so come on, give me an answer that will be quite nice. And what he said was, it's if you imagine in the middle, and I don't need to imagine, if you imagine in the middle of a really dirty sandy beach, you've got a lamp. And that lamp is the light that keeps you going, and all the wind and life and everything blows all the sand up against that lantern. The light is still there. The light is still a high vibration, but it's covered up by all this dirge.
Yeah.
By lowering the physical vibration, you're sweeping around the lamp so that it can shine. So there's a difference between raising your spiritual vibrations and lowering your physical vibrations. Because if we believe that the soul is constant and unchanging, we can't actually raise it. It's super light. It's wonderful.
It's already at the highest ilk.
If you lower the physical, it gives that light, that higher vibration, more of a place to blossom, just like clearing out the dust from around that lamp. That's how he described it. I hope that. So it is, as you said, two very different levels, really. One is spiritual and unchanging. The physical is the one that we can influence, the one that we can change.
Absolutely.
And also remember that whole point about when we go into the quiet, go into the power, go into the silence, we're actually slowing everything down.
Yes.
To allow that light to shine. So we're literally sweeping our physical emotions away to allow that light to shine. And we're doing a lot of that today.
We are. Joy Howell has written, I nearly passed the other week, but I didn't. Why is that?
Oh.
Obviously, I don't know what the circumstance was. We'll start our messages in a minute, my darling. Obviously, I don't understand what the circumstances was, but I would personally say whatever happened, it wasn't the right time. It wasn't right for you to be. You obviously had to have some sort of experience in that moment. You had to have you had to go through whatever challenge it was, whatever happened to you. Perhaps so that you have more appreciation of time, of the life you have. I think we all have that moment of wake up call, don't we?
Yes.
Where we stop treading water and go, I was supposed to be paying attention and living my life to the fullest. But we forget too quickly, don't we? It's like when someone close to us dies and we think, right, I'm going to, that's it now. I'm going to make sure I live in. And then once we've healed, we forget that and then go back into our normal lives, don't we? And maybe you needed a little wake-up call. I don't know, whatever it was, but maybe you needed a wake-up call. You didn't die because it wasn't your time. When the time is right, people say, oh, he died too young. His time was right. If your time was right, then that's it. You weren't meant to die.
Yeah.
Richard's just talking. Hold on a second, guys.
Absolutely.
I know you guys can't hear that, but he just Richard just gave us a lovely little prose all about appreciate making when you've made the plans, you know, and trying to appreciate it. Pardon?
Yeah, I think that'd be nice. So everyone else can hear the godlike voice.
Please, I would. Yeah, because
I would come on and tell that one.
Richard's going to try and come on and say that for us, because it was quite lovely.
While he does get himself on, actually, I will add to that. I totally agree with Dawn. You know,
I think I don't know if anybody can hear me. I hope so. Hello.
Can you all hear Richard?
If you can hear Richard, say so, please.
This is the voice we hear.
Anyway, so just very briefly, because it's their show, not mine. Hello, everybody, by the way. What I said was, the person who died yesterday made plans for today. The person who died this morning made plans for this evening. We should never take granted for our lives. Live each day, because we never know what's going to happen the following day. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I said. So back to you.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
back to you in
the studio.
Back to you in the studio. No role.
Very poignant. Very poignant.
Absolutely. And you know, it does very much
live each day to the full. I know it's not easy, because we get bogged back down with the humdrum again, don't we?
We do. But it is very much about the moments and living those moments. The one thing that I experienced in what I was describing earlier about all this slow running constancy was that it was very much about living moment to moment and being in the moment.
Yes.
Everything else just drifted away and didn't matter.
Yeah.
And you know, my granddad always said, which kind of agrees, even though it sounds contradictory with what Richard said, is tomorrow never comes, because it always ends up being today.
Yes, you're absolutely
and it does tie in very much with what Richard said. And at least we can know everybody heard the voice in the ear.
This is how so beautiful, Richard. Deep and true, Joanne Lewis says.
Definitely.
Live every day, Rich, as richly as you possibly can, because the present is called a present because it is the gift.
Oh, I've never heard that one. I like that.
Is it? I'll be honest with you, I didn't know that. That's great. Richard said that's in the film Kung Fu Panda, everybody. Apparently.
Absolutely.
Say that again. So yesterday is the past. Tomorrow is the future. Today is the present. And that is why we call it the gift.
Today is the gift. That's why we call it present.
Wow. That's why we call it the present. That's beautiful.
That's from Kung Fu.
It's what I said, but in a much nicer way.
Yeah, you know what? I'm always quoting science fiction and various different programs that inspire me.
You have to watch Kung Fu Panda.
So you've got to watch Kung Fu Panda now.
We have to do some readings, my lovely.
We do. We should also have a commercial break as well.
Yes.
And then when we come back, we can do some messages. But if I may, just in response to that question, I think there's never one real actual answer to that. And I think, Dawn, you covered most of the bases really, really beautifully. I will say that when I was a young child, this is Joy's question, of course.
Yes, sure.
When I was a child, I nearly drowned. I didn't.
Gosh.
When I was 24, I had a heart attack, but survived. The year after that, I had suspected meningitis, and I was very, very ill.
Yes.
I've had all of these brushes,
and
it wasn't until I started living my life for me, until I didn't start living each moment, it then stopped. But it kept happening, and it was almost every September, actually, you know, throughout my life. Something was saying, oi, come on, wake up. That is one element of it. But, you know, if you go by, there are so many different varied views on it that it would be difficult without saying, if it was accidental, so a train, a bus, a brick, a rock, or
is it accidental, though?
Is it accidental? Is there some hand just nudging it a few inches that way? if it's physical, here's one thing that I learned, which is slightly poetic. Illness is not the problem you should worry about, because the illness are symptoms that your body is telling you, I need help, fix me.
Yeah, yeah.
So those symptoms and those things that we feel like are going to actually take us, those symptoms are actually the things that are saying, boy, wake up, listen, do something about it.
Yeah.
And so there is quite a spiritual element in that as well. But just my 10 pence, and I hope you know Dawn's response and,
very
and my
interesting.
and certainly bringing on the great voice of God was a benefit. So I think we should have some adverts, don't you?
Commercial break. Go and get yourselves a nice little cup of tea. Don't be too long.
We'll be back with messages.
Are you planning a paid spiritual event, or looking for something to do this weekend? Then visit myspiritualevents.com. You can browse the listing, view the event details, watch a YouTube clip, look at a mini gallery, select dates and times, pay for tickets using PayPal or your debit card. Organizers can register for free and start selling tickets within minutes, be it for their online or in-person spiritual event. As an organizer, you will have access to your own admin dashboard, which will display information such as your income and your bookings, all in a simple and user-friendly display. It's free to use. Join and upgrade to an organizer. Come and visit us at myspiritualevents.com.
My Spirit Life is a free online interactive magazine for those who have an interest in improving their spiritual lives. Authors can upload images, videos, and audio clips to their own articles. The public can place comments, rate the article, and follow the author. All articles are vetted before being published. For more information and to place your own article, please visit myspiritlife.co.uk. On Tuesday afternoon from 1 p.m, Wendy Lindsay offers free spiritual readings and guidance using her crystal ball. Join us tomorrow night from 8 p.m. for a demonstration of psychic art. Angela Mitchell joins us to demonstrate her mediumship.
Hello.
And we are back in the studio. Thank you for the VT, Richard. We should, of course, acknowledge the fact that Matt and Kirsty aren't with us tonight on SPtv.
No, they are not. No, they're away. But they will be back next week, won't they?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Back next week. Lots going on, of course. Don't forget to check out the website. Consider being a VIP, of course. There's lots of extra bonus features. And remember to share, like, and subscribe.
Press that bell button. Oh, no, that's a different thing. So. Oh, right. Okay.
Free read. So look on the Facebook page.
Yeah, look on the Facebook page. Richard has just told us. Look on your Facebook page, and you will see an possibility to get a free reading, a competition.
Hey.
So check it out on Facebook.
Prizes adrift, prizes aflow.
There we are.
Spiritual energies, here we go.
Oh my goodness me, that was too much. I couldn't bear that.
That's really cheesy, isn't it?
That was
yeah, it was. But we did, it was. Yeah, I tell you what though, just because of that though, I happen to know that you've just done something that was really, really for show, because when I did that, because my speakers are rubbish. Stay tuned for the answer to that one. Joining in with the connection there, Dawn. I love that. That was beautiful, by the way. And
that was totally subconscious. And oh my
especially goodness. Considering you don't use earphones.
I have nothing there at all.
Stace says that she's a VIP.
I wanted to be part of the show. I wanted to be special for that moment.
I'll send you an earpiece with one of those twirly clear tubes that you
can see it and it makes me look important.
And tuck it in there. Oh, yeah. Richard's got one.
Oh, I just want to look special. It's part of the show.
You do. I'm gonna say you always look special, Dawn. You know, and I do love the fact that you. Well, yeah.
My maths teacher used to tell my mum that I was special. But it didn't go so well.
Yes,
it didn't go so well.
But I do love the fact that I've been talking about waterfalls, and I've just noticed as you leaned back, you've got a waterfall behind you.
I painted that.
You painted? Wow.
Those are all my paintings up there. That is, I can't remember where that is. My mum would know where that is. You guys probably know where it is. Oh gosh. Nectan's Glen. St Nectan's Glen.
St Nectan's Glen. Ooh.
Nectan's Glen.
I shall have to Google that.
Yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I went there. I was pregnant, and I went there, and it was just absolutely beautiful. There was so many orbs, and it was just a magnificent experience. It was just gorgeous.
Fabulous. Yes.
It was gorgeous.
And once again, the power of nature.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I missed that, Richard. Yes, I think it is. Yeah. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I often use waterfalls as for meditation. I'll imagine that when I get in the shower, I'll imagine that it's cleansing me, and I'll imagine that, and that's part of meditation. So I use earth in that respect.
Wow, lovely.
Okay.
Catty S has just said, "OM gosh, Nick, you might be my near-death twin. I went through the exact same things during my younger lifetime."
Oh my
That's
gosh.
so weird and yet so amazing. And do you know what? I think a lot of
quickening.
Yeah, and I do know a lot, because we talk about the near-death experiences that suddenly switches on spirit communication and everything. So, I think we do kind of have those. And the first thing that my mentor ever told me was that mediums suffer, Nick.
Yes, they do.
So, I hope you guys can suffer us mediums a little bit longer. I've got to get some new material, because
you've really got to try harder. This is painful.
Try harder. I will try harder, as my other half said. And Joanne Lewis, it's up to the individual what they choose to focus on. I prefer to focus on the positive, although I'm aware of the unpleasant things. I prefer not to carry on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're keeping your aura nice and clean. Your aura is like a pristine white blanket, isn't it? Yeah. And we tend to make it a bit grubby and a bit dirty as we go through life.
Yes. And Tina, thank you. That's so very kind.
Oh, thank you, Tina.
We have a lovely tone, and we're calming. I don't think my mother or my other half would probably agree with you, Tina, to be true, but I
don't think my children would appreciate and understand that at all, Tina.
So, messages. We need to give some messages.
Yes, please. Richard's going to give us out a few names, and we're going to see what we're drawn to, guys, okay?
Yes. So VIPs, if you are a VIP, your name drifts magically and technologically to the surface when we get read out our list. Because what we do is Richard reads out the list of names that are people online. Yes. And then when we feel drawn and connected to that name, we link in and say, "Are you still there?" We don't have the toffee crisp.
Is there anybody there?
We don't have the toffee crisp wrapper falling out of the lampshade. Yes. Obviously,
sorry, we're laughing at something Richard's saying. I know
other toffee
makes
and
no sense.
Chocolate bars are available, but of course the Toffee Crisper advert loved us first. So if you are a VIP, your name automatically sits at the top of the list. Yes. Through the nature of technology and everything. So it's worth it, 37p a week, do I recall?
Yes, that's right, I think. Yeah, 37p.
How was that stuck in my head? I don't know.
Because it's such a small amount of money, it's hard to forget, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Anyway, I will shut up talking so Richard can tell us some names.
Tina Place. Sure. VIP and proud. Lots of articles in the magazine too. Yes, there are, Stacey. Thank you for saying that. Please check out the magazine. Katie, yeah.
Very sweet.
Nick, you both are emitting happens. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Whitney. Oh, Shania, big hugs. Tina Hennessy. Okay. Kelly McKeating. Okay. Is there anyone you're drawn to, Nick, yet?
I have to admit, when Catty S's name,
yes, there she is.
When Catty S's name popped up, well done, Richard. Magic fingers, darling. I'm sure he has heard that many a time. I did actually feel drawn to Catty.
I was drawn to between her name and one other person, so I'm more than happy to go with her.
Excellent. So,
go with Katie.
Do you want me to kick off?
You kick off, my darling, and I'll carry on.
The gentleman that first approached me when I saw your name. Interestingly enough, I didn't see your picture. I just saw your name, even though it's glaring at me. My head started pounding, so I know that this gentleman coming through would have suffered either with his head, or there would have been unfortunate a physical impact or something to do with the head anyway. Feeling very, very heavy-headed with this gentleman. And also, I because I couldn't see your picture, there was either some kind of there was either some issue with vision, or it's like he looked at you and through you like he didn't recognize you. So that heaviness that I'm feeling in my head, combined with that, could have been some kind of dementia or condition of the brain. I'm always very careful to say condition of the brain, not the mind, because the mind is protected, the mind is defended. It might not be able to pop out above the surface while it's being protected. But I do feel this gentleman who would have been a very fatherly influence in your life would have. I'm really strongly drawn now. I've figured out those symbols to some kind of condition of the brain. It could even have been from an injury, and that's why he didn't recognise either yourself or people that he deeply cared about. Actually, I'm also feeling real nagging in my neck that I know is not mine, because I normally have a bad neck anyway. This doesn't feel like me, so I'm having problems just the back of my neck here, and also I'm feeling very like Dawn did earlier. Actually, I'm feeling a very strong beating and banging and punching and kicking here. So he was a deeply emotional person and highly easy to connect with as an individual. I can see by Dawn's expression she's got the same person. I love how we just instantly link it.
Yeah.
Oh, Catty.
Oh, God bless.
My daddy had a bad brain injury and only remembers me when I was younger. Ah, bless you. Well, this energy is very strong, very powerful as it comes through. Usually, if they're still in spiritual recovery, it's quite a weak signal. Mm-hmm. But he's back to full power.
Yeah.
Back to full power.
Yeah.
Dawn, do you? Because I don't want to take over.
Oh, what's that? He was thrown the three during a. God bless him. He shows me a picture of a young girl, and I believe it to be you. And the face was rubbed out, and he's trying to tell me that he doesn't remember. I don't remember, he says, and that's his way. He sort of rubbed it out with a rubber, and telling me I don't remember anymore. And he shows me, for some reason he's showing me red tartan, but as he's coming through, he was incredibly emotional. He's he looks to me quite quite tall. I feel quite tall with him. I feel quite upright and tall with him. And it's like before you were saying, what I felt was like a blow. I think I said the word blow when you were talking, blow to the head. And he is incredibly emotional with you. And he was easy. He was easy to get emotional when towards the end of his life. I've got tears with him. He makes me want to cry. And I have this, I feel like I have it's not a habit. It's something that happened to do with my brain injury. It's like I'd be rocking a bit. I have a need to rock like that. I'm extremely emotional with this gentleman. And I feel, I mean, obviously there would have been a lot of sadness around it, obviously his passing, but I feel there was a lot of tears with him. Not just at the end, but he's saying before that as well, I was very, very upset. Very, very upset, very easy to upset. And he would get emotionally upset with himself as well. That is so lovely to hear. Thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But as he comes through, as Nick said, he is incredibly, upright. He's got so much energy and power. He is right there. He is full of energy, full of it.
And I don't know why I did that, because it's coming through spirit, not the ear.
You're getting like me.
I'm getting like you. But it was actually, I think in his life he would have had something to do with
his ears
and ear pieces.
What's many ears?
Oh, many ears.
Right. He just said that to me. Okay.
Yes, many ears. It's to do. It's actually
thrown off balance.
Yes, it's all about balance, and if you feel really, really rubbish. Which actually, thinking about it, Mum has many ears, and she
thrown about. Oh,
but,
your mum has it as well.
Yeah, so it does feel the same as that. What I will say, actually, when I was going a bit loopy, I'm reminded that I was talking about conditions of the brain and the soul, and the mind is protected. And this is important for him, because I believe, Catty, you had experiences, being aware of this way of life as you are. Looking back, you had experiences as though, even though when he was still physically there,
he could communicate with you.
He was attempting to communicate spiritually with you, because that is what we call the bus pass. That's how the mind is.
That's because he's Scottish. Yes, he is tall. Yes, he did rock a lot. Yes, he would have been very upset. He's making me want to cry now.
But yeah, that connection with you was so deeply emotional that he was able to give you signs or messages or do things spiritually, which is why it's been easier for him to come through quicker than some who need to, because he had this bus pass. We call it the day bus pass, or I do anyway, where they're able to directly, step into the spirit world without having to sit and meditate, without having to sit and learn, to protect the mind, to protect the soul. And so he would have been able to start doing spirit stuff while he was still physically here. So those experiences, those feelings that you might have had that were like, can't be, they were very much him. And so he's been able to be a really tremendous influence on your life.
Yes, he's saying, I am a driving force.
Yes.
A driving force. But, and I'm feeling with you that you are asking, he showed me red tartan, I'm feeling with you that you are asking the same questions over and over again. And you're not hearing the answer. The answer's being given, but you're not hearing it. You're getting it from simple things that are happening in the trees, in the wind. You're having little things, experiences, and if you were acceptable to it, if you were only to listen and do you know what I'm saying? It's as if you're just not. So you're having to ask the same questions all the time because you're not hearing the answer.
Yeah.
You're struggling.
Yeah.
His words, not mine. You're struggling.
Yeah. And in actual fact, when you said driving force, I got that through myself.
Stop crying. Thank you. I was very much Daddy's girl. We did have a strong bond. God bless you.
And that driving force is, I think there's something to do with driving as well as a memory link, or work or whatever. But that and that's why he got me doing that. Yeah. Fast drivers, racing drivers and stuff, they have an earpiece direct to control. And he says, oh wow. He says, you, Catty, are in the driving seat now. You are the driving force. Yes. And he says, I'm not the driving force as I was physically now, but I am whispering in your ear through the radio mic as you're going round the track, and I will, and this ties so much in with what you were saying, Dawn, I will warn you when the chicane is coming. I will warn you when there's a sharp bend, but you have to listen. And you hear, but you don't always listen. You dismiss it because you think it can't be, or you're afraid that it might be wrong. But
a little bit of fear there.
We've already spoken about that bond and having it confirmed. Why would I not? Why would I not? And there's that passion coming out.
Yeah, I'm your dad. Why wouldn't I? You're my little girl.
So he is starting to step back from me now. So do take that passion, that strength, and that voice in your ear.
Absolutely. As he leaves me, that's beautiful. Thank you. As he leaves me. Sorry, he doesn't leave you. He leaves me. He gives you a teddy bear, a lovely brown teddy bear. What does he say? I keep asking why I wasn't enough for him to give up his addictions. Oh, sweetheart.
Having some personal experience in this isn't a spirit message. This is a little bit of me and my guide.
Yeah.
There is a difference between love and compassion, and there is a difference between addiction.
Yes.
Addiction gets into your physical body.
Physical body.
And it's only the physical body. Love and compassion is part of your spirit and your soul.
Yeah.
I know that there are chemicals that, activate the physical responses from love and emotion, but there has to be a trigger behind those responses. And that is love, pure love. And love comes from the soul. Addiction is very much of the physical. It's very centered around the body and the responses and impulses that it has. And when it comes to addiction, we can see the wood, but we can't find the trees.
Amen.
But at the end of the day, he loved you so much in his soul and in his heart. And the physical body is completely different, and the physical is fragile and weak and unendingly troublesome, which is why our soul always rises above it. So that higher part of him always loved you. The addiction was a control on him. But the one thing that I know from what I felt from him is that his love for you was his merciful release from that physical addiction.
Absolutely. And he left you, you're absolutely right. And he's reminding you of the teddy bear, because that's the last thing he gave to you. That's the last thing you have of him.
Bless you.
So thank you, Katie. It was an absolute honour to connect with someone who has so much love, much love and passion for you, Katie.
And once again, power, raw, unadulterated power.
Yes, absolutely.
And also,
doesn't that link in so well, Nick, with what you're saying about lowering the addiction? That's part of the physical.
Yeah.
And then his love for you is part of his spiritual. And he is not his physical body. He is him. He is spirit. He is the soul. And that's what's now gone to the spirit world, and what is able to communicate with you today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd just like to say, I know I don't have to, but I want to, because it's fair to acknowledge this. From one of Catty's comments, thank you to our SPtv family for the support that you've been giving Catty during this reading as well. It just shows what a great bunch of people you are, and it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful of all of you. You know, we're sitting here doing the work, talking to Catty, but you guys are part of that process of helping and supporting and nudging. So God bless you all, actually. I think we should have another reading.
I just can't believe how lucky we are to have the, you know, opportunities, these experiences in life.
Yeah.
To be able to communicate with the spirit world and to have such a wonderful, it's a joy.
Yeah.
It's a joy.
Gives you tingles.
I know. Ugh.
Warm, fuzzy feeling. Now, I think we should probably have another reading. Now, I remember you were drawn to someone in addition, so I'll let you be drawn this time.
Okay.
I'll link it to you.
Okay. Can I have the? I like Amy. Let's have some more names, please. See if I recognise. Oh, morning, Ray. God bless you, sir. Okay. I think we're going for Joy.
Yeah. We've got to have joy.
Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
And interesting enough, I was actually
SPtv.
Keep it SPtv. I did that in front of a waterfall for the video. Spoilers. Interesting enough, I was drawn to Joy at the very beginning of the show.
Wonderful.
So
wonderful.
Go for it, my lovely, and I will link in to you.
Okay. Right. Oh, sorry, let me just read this, please. I love SPtv and mediums Nick and Dawn that can communicate between the world to give everyone much comfort. And oh, bless you, Tina. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tina. That's precious. That's what it's all about, my darling.
And it'd be pointless if you weren't here too, my loves.
Absolutely. Joy, are you still here, my sweetheart? You are?
Excellent. Wonderful. Joy is here.
Okay.
Joy remains.
Joy, I have the energy of a lady with me, an elderly lady, but I feel like part of her mind started to falter, and I feel it was on this side because I feel very like I'm sort of dripping, and a little bit of saliva would have come out, and she's showing me that she must have been a smoker because all of the bottom part of her jawline is quite sort of drawn in and slightly wrinkled in that part, so I feel she would have been a smoker. Yes, she was a smoker, and she comes as Nick's got her, haven't you, Nick?
Oh God,
she's also given me a lung full of smoke as well. So as I said, I feel she was a smoker. She definitely was a smoker. There must have been some kind of Irish link because she's given me St. Patrick, and she also says the name Patrick as well. So whether Patrick is important or if it's just because of the Irish link, I'm not 100% sure at the moment. Okay. And I want to talk about Jenny as well. Who was the name Jenny come in? The female name of Jenny. Whether that connects with her or if it might, I'm not saying it's her name, but we're here with that name. Let me know if you understand the name. And as we're speaking, I know my hands start to tremble a lot with her. And she's talking about, when I mention the head, she talks about the back of the head and the side of the head. And there was some sort of there may have been a slight slurring of words as well, unable to form the words properly. Okay. She started talking about Christmas then to me as well. So I know obviously we're halfway through, towards the latter part of the year, but she talks about Christmas carol. She gives me carol. Okay. But I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to 100% say that I am devoted to the name being that I'm devoted to it being devoted. Is not my word. Why are you giving me that word? Okay. That's not my word. She's giving me the word devoted. So she was a woman. She was a woman. I think she may have passed when it at Christmas time. Okay, around that time. And she was very devoted to her family. Thank you for that. She was very devoted to her family, and she liked to live it up. She says, "I like to live it up," and that was her being around her family was her time when she could be at her best, when she would show her joy and would show her fun. And she was definitely not the only smoker in the family. And she says, I was not the only person who liked a little drink in the family either. Okay, Nick, I'll let you come in, my darling. I can hear bells as I'm leaving you. I hear bells as well.
And it absolutely, and everything you were saying, I was kind of like, it was running through like a train, because she was sister, a powerhouse.
Bless you. Bless you.
And I'm very much aware that her hair wasn't always. Oh,
sorry, I missed that, Richard.
Twin sister.
Oh, twin sister. Oh, bless. Wonderful.
And when you said devotion, all I could hear was totally devoted to you. But I also feel that there was another kind of devotion, a spiritual one perhaps. But I'm very much aware that my hair is now starting to go all punk rock, because I could feel my hair growing, and I don't always think that her hair sat quite how she wanted it to. So there was often bits, sticking outy and bits sticky uppy, but she still managed to make it look good, bless her. But she was another powerhouse. You really didn't want to mess with this woman. And there was this wonderful love and compassion about this woman, don't get me wrong, but that also then turned to
don't mess
with me and mine. Exactly.
She died the 19th of December.
Missed Christmas.
Thank you. So that
she didn't miss Christmas. She had Christmas with the bloke whose alleged date
might have been
of birth
also passed.
Oh, bless you.
Can I just stop you, Nick? I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I keep seeing a face that looks just like yours, and I mistook that as her trying to talk to me about you. But yes. It must have been identical to him, because the face I see is just like you, even the hair, everything. Yeah. It's just, I keep saying the face.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm usually online. I'm usually drawn to names, but it was your picture that stood out to begin with, which does track and make sense. But I it's really, really weird, because I don't tend to notice these little physical things that I do while I'm working that reflect the spirit person coming through. But when my face is staring back at me from the screen, I tend to see these things. And I do notice that I was swaying side to side. So, I don't know what that is, but I do feel she would have done it, either, getting carried away with the music, or there was some physical reason, I don't know, but there was just these physical, but also the finger. You said about the hands.
Yes.
Her finger.
She had fingers that were kind of arthritic.
Yes, the bumps around, and you could see the joints poking out, because she had quite reasonably, certainly better than these stubby little Watsits that I've got. So she had decent, so she could have played the piano.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I see a piano.
piano. So she had piano hands. That's usually how I get that physical description through. But it's I keep going back to your name, and I always have to remind myself, everything I say before a message is part of the linking in process. And she kept talking about always a bit of joy. Seven sisters.
Oh gosh, God bless you. God bless you. There must have been. She's still going back to the devotion and your name, Joy.
Joy.
Well,
Joy.
So there must have been quite a devotion to her God. Okay, she was a very spiritual lady. Definitely was a woman of faith. And I believe a lot of the family are as well. I believe that's something that goes through the family.
Which has not always made the involvement of this way of life perfect. Yeah, I get that. I get that. You know. Normally, as you know, I'm normally wearing a dog collar, and I get ransacked. How can you be a minister and talk to the dead? You know, that they talk to me. I just listen.
Yeah. And they're definitely not dead. Can I just put my hand up and say they are?
Here. And all this rubbish that you get thrown. How can you do this and be a minister, and how can you do that? And the reason I'm talking about is because she would have understood those frustrations.
She had a very good way of being able to see, but both sides of the. I was going to say both. I was going to say something else, but she said both sides of the coin.
Yes, coin.
That was her words, not mine. He keeps putting words in my mouth, so I try and I think, I've got to try and make that fit somewhere, but then I realise I can't because it's not my words.
We always have to acknowledge, actually, these spirit people are very, very good with communicating. She's another one of them. Because I got, when you said both sides, I saw the coin. I also think there is a coin made into some form of jewellery. So like you get those sovereign rings, those half crowns. Yeah. So it's either a ring or a necklace or something. But there's a coin that was made into jewellery.
Yes, there's also a memory of a coin in the Christmas pudding as well. That was always put in the Christmas pudding. That is a memory link.
I think someone suffered for it. I just felt my tooth crack. It hasn't. Don't panic. I just felt my tooth crack. And I know
who finds it.
Joy has asked, will things get better for me? As someone who has got 7 siblings in the world of spirit as well, believe it or not, I never met them physically because they all came and passed before me. I have, however, met them in my spiritual life. What I do know is that with that immense powerhouse of support up there round you, within and permeating you, there is nothing they will not do.
They will move heaven and earth. Those are her words. Did you hear those words at the same time?
Because I was thinking, oh God, the analogy of the earth again. But the moving heaven and earth, just to make sure that things will get better for you. But they are all. I say they. She. There is more than one, definitely, that we've been picking up on here.
I wear my twins.
The twins.
Gorgeous.
That powerhouse of power and energy, you are part of too. Never forget that. We they will support and guide and help and direct you, but you are much stronger and better than you give yourself credit for. What I'm getting at the moment is that you are your own worst critic, and that you're quite right to ask for help, and you're quite right to ask for strength, and you're quite right to ask for guidance, absolutely. But you have within you that powerhouse. You are a force of nature, and they're very much talking about, we will guide, but you will lead. And I know that so much has happened, but here we go again with the analogy. She obviously loved the world and nature, because I'm seeing this wave, and she's saying even the most powerful wave has to recede and give you a break. And sometimes it's when that wave is its highest that you know that that's the time when the easement That's not a word that I use.
No.
Easement will come. So absolutely, she's adamant that things will get better for you. But she's also giving you explanations as to how to make it happen too. Because that was the kind of person she was.
Absolutely. You I feel, I don't know if you wear glasses. You're not wearing glasses in the picture you have. But she's saying to me that you see reflections of her face in reflective surfaces. So glasses, anything that's reflective, water, shiny stuff. You see her, even a highly polished table. You see a thing, and you think, no, that's, I'm just imagining that. But you see, and that is her. Yeah. That is her trying to show herself to you. You always put yourself down.
Yeah, bless you. I get that. I really, really do. But stop it.
Yeah. The sun. This is totally her. The sunshine. The sunshine is coming.
She was very much very much a carrot and stick. So it would be, darling, don't put yourself down. Stop it. You know. So it's that love and cuddle, and then that firm strength.
And then shake you.
And then you're gonna say it's a cuddle so that I can pull you in and shake you, and bring you back up. And it is very much about you being lifted out of the situation, and again it's that theme again of lifting you out of the situation rather than rising above it. And because you have, thank you. You have so many people around you that not only love and support you, but also rely on your strength. And this is where that whole powerhouse for you comes in. So, okay. So know that you've got this underground network of thermal heat.
Goodness me.
Forcing you forward, and be careful not to explode. Go the steady, slow, determined pace that you are as a powerhouse, because I have seen that you have had a couple of blow-ups, eruptions. See, that hand motion, it can be the flowering and bringing forth, but it can be a boom if it's too quick. So slow it down.
Watch. Can I just? Sorry, my darling. As you're saying, slow it down. It just came into me. Watch your slippers. Watch how you're walking. Just be more aware, because you can be a little bit, shall we say, not so aware of yourself all the time. And that's all I want to say. Just be careful of your slippers. She shows me the backless kind. Be careful of that. And just look after yourself. And as she leaves, she gives me a green cardigan for you as a memory, a green cardigan. Okay. Thank you too. Thank you both. Bless you. Bless you.
Bless you, Joy.
Bless you. Take her love, and know that all your siblings, they are not gone. They are very much not dead, and they are very much with you, and you are not alone. And the sunshine is coming. So please take their love and ours.
And ours. And as a final thought, be the joy that you know you can be. Because she was obsessed with your name, and so many different ways of using the word joy, but be the joy. Yeah. Be the joy.
Amen.
And I'll say God bless you.
God bless you.
Wow. So wow, and it's so good to be back with you and Richard. That voice in my ear that actually revealed itself to the world today.
The SPtv God Force.
The SPtv God Force, and I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support and the friendship, and also the kind things that you said about what I said earlier when I thought everyone thought I was going to be a Lupo, and it's really, really lovely to be back. I do feel that I have changed a little bit. I think I'm a little bit more relaxed now, and the fact that I don't feel that I have to wear the dog collar all the time, maybe part of that. But I'm also very much aware that you promised us a prayer.
I did. I do have it.
There we go.
Just have to get 2 seconds. Just amongst yourself.
Whilst
I had
doing
it.
that, whilst you're
I'll
doing
take
that,
it.
I would just say to everybody, don't forget, keep sharing, liking and subscribing, because people can watch this on playback on Facebook and YouTube and on the website, where there's loads to do. And don't forget, of course, that Matt and Kirsty, nearly said Dawn again, had to go online and apologise to him last week, for marrying him off. But don't forget that Matt and Kirsty aren't online tonight, but they will be back next week. So Dawn, you have a prayer.
Thank you. If you'd like to join me in prayer, this is a prayer for the earth. O God, let us grant this fair earth which you have granted us in your bounty, and let us share the plenty you have provided. Let us not hoard our crops unto ourselves, but let all of humanity reap the fruits of our sowing. Let us permit no one to dwell in the pain and hunger of starvation. O God, let us respect the seas, the soil, and the skies, and help us see the Spirit in all things. Let us learn from those nations we have spurned. Let us carefully protect all of our creation, and not continue in our wanton ways and horrible destruction. Let us unite one humankind in peace, that we may cherish what we have and are, and yet abide in our love of this, our planet. O God, help us recognize the wasteful practices to this. Let us walk ever in heartfelt gratitude for this wondrous world, that gift which you have given us in your infinite love. Amen.
Amen. Wow.
God bless you. Thank you, everyone.
God bless you. And Denise Smith, loving the show today. Well, we love you too. And I agree. I'm really, really enjoying it. And the words of that prayer, I have never heard that one. You told us about it at the beginning. Soil, water, and sky.
Yes.
And
absolutely. Mother Earth
sums up the island of fire and ice. Because it's the fire and ice and lights, really.
Absolutely.
And the parallels were just perfect. That them up there have had the flow.
Absolutely.
And Joanne Lewis, fantastic show. Dawn, Nick, and Richard, thank you for a beautiful morning. It's been I've really enjoyed sharing my time with you all this morning.
I have. Oh, and Shania, thank you all for the support. It's really helping me and calming me down. Good. Wonderful. If nothing else, our show is to uplift and to give and to share love. That's all it's for.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sending everyone so much love and healing. Please take care, all hearts. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all, and thank you for having me again, Dawn.
Thank you so much for being here, Nick. And please keep sending out your love to our Alison.
Absolutely. Keep her in your thoughts. Yes. And of course, a big thank you to producer Richard for being that voice in our ear.
Thank you,
keeps
Richard.
us on track and smacks us when we need to be smacked. Kinky, darling. Yeah. Christmas, maybe.
Gentlemen, please.
Yeah, I used to be so scared about behaving like a lunatic, and I just love the SPtv that lets me be a lunatic and doesn't give a damn, and that's how the world should be.
I've spent most of my life doing that and didn't realise I was supposed to give a damn. Sorry.
Not while I have a mouthful, darling.
Much love, and let's keep this ending of the show clean. Much love and God blessings to everyone, and thank you so much to all. God bless, and thank you for sharing your love and guidance and respect, spirit, and to our Lord. And until next time,
God bless you
keep it SPtv.
Keep it SPtv. See you all soon.